And we are live. What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Purple Pill Pod. We got a special discussion today with Nuclear Caudillo. I can't say, I can still not roll my LR, bro. I'm gonna work on it every time you come until I get good at it. But yeah, shout out to everybody. Everybody like the video on y'all's way in, please. Number one show in the world for dating. Make sure to subscribe. Also, please hit the notification bell so you can see every time a live show is gonna come up. Follow us on the podcast Instagram as well, and please go add my boy right here on Instagram. And y'all let me know if my mic is good. I know I turned down my gain a little bit because I felt like it was too high, but y'all let me know if it's down too much. Um, but yeah, please check us out right now on Facebook, Twitter, Rumble, or YouTube. We're live to all those all at the same time right now. If you want to show support, you can do that by hitting the join button under the video, or you become a YouTube member. You will get some emojis for the show, and you can also super chat in any questions that you have for us during the show today. We're on all audio platforms as well, so Spotify and Apple Podcasts. And make sure to go add Instagram. Go add him right now on Instagram, guys. We got to grow it. If you're looking to learn how to utilize AI or networking skills, please DM me info on Instagram, and I'll get you a call booked with one of our coaches for emergent values mentoring, by the way, guys. And shout out to my producer. I'm the producer today, so I'm going to act like a clown. I'm going to turn my gain up just a little bit for just in case it's down. But y'all, please let me know if y'all can hear me well. But guys, we're going to do a really cool show today. Me and Nuke are going to go over a little bit of an AMS video because y'all know how much I love AMS and Purple Pill. Give me 1 second. Here, go ahead and introduce yourself, bro, and tell them where they can find you.
All right. Hello, everyone. I'm back on Purple Pill. Glad to be here. My name is Nuclear Caudillo. You can just call me Nuke for short. You guys can find me on Twitter, twitter.com/CaudilloNuclear. That's where I do most of my posting. I have a YouTube channel, which is growing right now. I just got monetized, so thank you to all my followers and fans. YouTube.com/CaudilloNuclear. You can find me on Twitch, Nuclear Caudillo, Instagram, Nuclear Caudillo, and I have a Patreon, guys. It's only $6 a month if you just have any questions about dating, women, anything like that, So get in there, and I post really deep level dating hacks and advice that I've learned over my last couple of years here in Dallas. Other than that, if you guys want to do a collab or find me or want to reach out to me personally, you can reach out at my Gmail, nuclearcaudillo@gmail.com. So
Yeah, guys, please go show some support. We've got to be supporting all the guys in Dallas. Especially if you're a Dallas person and you're not supporting a Dallas guy, this is ridiculous, guys. Come on. I'm trying to find a quote really quick, guys. There's a quote that I really want to go to. Shout out to Marquette. He had a really good quote in one of his videos that he had up like 7 or 8 days ago. Let's see if I can find it really quick. He said, shout out to you, Saint, from Saint the Center. Everybody go check out Saint the Center. He said, we are not complaining. He was talking about women. In context, he was talking about, complaining about women and, female nature and stuff. He said, we are not complaining because I never speak wrong without speaking a right, without bringing a solution to the table. And there's something really big about that statement because there's a lot of people who are always, speaking wrongs, but we don't ever speak a right. We don't ever give a prescription. We're very descriptive in the red pill space. But as I like to bring up all the time, life is 10% what happens to you and 90% the way you react to it. So, we need to stop talking all the time about 10%. And that's why today's show is going to be about, can you be red pill in a relationship? Because that is something, like we're very, very descriptive in the red pill space. But can we give some prescriptions to be in relationships? Or can we be in relationships with just the descriptions? Can we just be happy with just a description of everything, So that's what we're going to go over today. We're going to be going over AMS's video that he just released today. I can't believe how fitting it was for what we were going to talk about. It was very nice. Let me get it up on the screen for everybody real quick. Share screen. Is it this one? Yeah. Relationships are overrated. Share. Okay. How's this look? Yeah, that looks good. Let's get it down this way, though, so we can see him a little better. But no, guys, we're just going to check this video out just a few. There's like 3 or 4 different parts I wanted to commentate over really quick. And y'all let me know if y'all can hear the video as well.
What's up, fellas? So I had a loyal patient supporter that wanted to know the most important things in a relationship. Now, for all my red pill brothers, you guys might be like, why the hell are we talking about a relationship? Well, for all the new guys who are here, let me explain something to you. When you see a woman on a consistent basis, you're still in a relationship. You're just in a non-monogamous relationship. Okay? You're still in a relationship. You still have to. A non-monogamous relationship, guys, basically means you get everything as a real relationship, as a monogamous relationship, except the commitment, the exclusive commitment. Okay? That's the only difference in between non-monogamous and monogamous. Okay, so the only caveat would be if you're dating women. All right, if you're dating women, then no. The difference between dating women and a non-monogamous relationship is you don't see the women on a constant basis. If you're seeing a woman once a week, every week, you're in a non-monogamous relationship. When you're dating a woman, just dating a woman, you can see her once a month, once every 3 months. You can pop in out of the blue and say, hey, I'm in town, I'm free, you want to get some drinks? Okay, that's dating. So this is two different things opposed to relationships. Okay, guys, so I just want y'all guys to understand that just because y'all haven't gotten exclusive, you're still in a relationship. Okay, and I advocate for all you guys to do non-monogamous relationships, quote unquote, rotations. I do not believe in pump and dump and dating, and I'll tell you guys why. Unless you sowing your wild oats, right? You're just saying, hey, I want to get it out of my system, then knock yourself out. But I'll tell you guys why I don't advocate pump and dump or just dating women. Throughout my lifetime, I've never been able to get nothing accomplished in my life with trying to bang a lot of women over in a year. I've never accomplished anything. The only time I've been able to accomplish anything substantial in my life was when I had either a girlfriend or a steady rotation. Chasing ass is time consuming. Period. That's all I'm gonna tell you. It is time consuming. You won't get shit done unless you're in monk mode. You won't get shit done trying to spin plates. Shout out Rolo Tomasi. You would not get nothing done spinning plates like that. You need rotations or a steady girlfriend. But you know what? Y'all know every fucking thing. You got 2 fucking strands of hair on your fucking balls. You know everything. Let me just shut the fuck up. Y'all know every fucking thing. So you do what you want to do. But just remember.
Yeah, so no, Duke. What do you think about that statement, though, bro? You know, like the whole.
I love AMS. I see his videos all the time.
It's so funny.
He brings a lot of like comedic value to the red pill, which is good. Yeah, well, like you said, when in the beginning, if you're gonna want to, like, you know, you're hungry, you know, as a guy who wants to get out there. If you're younger, like 24, 25, you're gonna want to, like, every girl you see, you know, you're inexperienced, you want to have sex with every girl you see, right? But as you get older, like my age, the responsibilities start mounting. Being the definition of a man changes because now, you know, you got to take care of a lot more people. It could be a daughter, a son. It could be your mother, your aging parents. Your job. You're probably more important at your job. You have maybe a house, or, you know, there's a lot more things going on in a 34-year-old man than a 24-year-old man's life, right? So, you're not gonna have the time to, like, every day or every other day, you know, go on a date. It's not worth the squeeze, you know. But at the same time, I cannot tell a young guy to, like, hey, because I did it, but don't do it, because that's not fair, right? That's very unfair because I had my fun. I can't tell anyone else. However, I can tell them, hey, do it safely and realize that it's gonna be time consuming. You know, as long as you warn them, you know, it's good. But yeah, I agree with AMS.
Yeah, no, it's one of, so for me personally, whenever he brings up like this topic, like the whole, like, he goes into detail later on, you know, right after that part where, like, how well he is in relationship, like, towards his life versus, like, how he is when he's not in one. And bro, I reflect so hard with it. Like, I can't express to you how, like, when I'm not in a relationship, I'm outside like every day, dude. Like, I'm outside every day.
Happy hour,
dude, every day. And it's just because, like, I always have another place where I can go where there's bitches that I can hang around. And it's just like, I'll just go be around bitches all day. It's not because I like he talked about chasing, and, like, I was thinking about it, it's like, well, I'm not really chasing, but I'm inadvertently chasing, because it's like I go
yourself
in the environment. Yeah, because I know that, like, if I'm in the environment, then I'll get the approach, or I'll get the opportunity that I'm looking for, you know. And but that's why, like, honestly, I'm one of those guys that I'm just so much better in relationships, because my ass needs to sit down. Like, yeah. I'll be like, but what's really crazy also is my brain, whenever I'm single, I'm also, like, in a mode of, I got to make more money too. Mm-hmm. So I'll do whatever it takes. I'm ruthless and I make way more money, but then I spend more of it because I'm outside more and I'm doing so much bullshit. Right. But then in opposite, whenever it's like that, like what they talk about, like the stereotype in Red Pill about how, like, you know, guys becoming really betaized after, like, time being in a relationship or something, you know, like, I really like that phase of getting into comfort and just chilling and not worrying about anything and just saving money and not even thinking about, like, you know, having to go chase women or any of that stuff.
You're
like,
taking care
like
of
the comfort. Yeah. Like, yeah, the comfort. For you personally, man, like, how many times, like, have you had that comfort in a relationship And like, do you think that you consider yourself like more comfortable like being in that stage, being comfortable like in a really, we're not going to say a shitty relationship because obviously you're not comfortable in a shitty relationship, but like have
No
you
one
been in
is.
like one of those good ones where you're really comfortable, and like did you like that feeling more than when you're single chasing, or have you found a really good balance right now where you're kind of in between that, you think?
Um, at first, when you first meet a new girl, you kind of want to spend a lot more time with her, because it's just a rush.
Yeah.
It's just, I don't care how red pill or player, or when you meet a girl you like, you want to do things with her.
Fuck.
And she wants to do things with you. So, yeah, in the beginning, but after a while, when things mellow out and things are stable, you kind of realize, like, you get a lot more time because you're not out chasing women. Whereas also, hopefully your girl isn't one that wants to go party all the time either. She's pulling you to the club or to the bar. Hopefully she's like, no, I want to stay in and watch movies or anime or whatever. So it's like you wake up on Saturday not hungover, and you're like, oh, now I got more now I got more energy and all that stuff. And yeah, it's nice. It's just a different. It's just another part of life, because there, like, I'm a chaser. I'm not say chaser like I waste my time and I put women. I don't put women in front of my family, friends, job, not even my dog. Right?
Not on a pedestal.
No, I women will fit. Obviously, I if I got a free Tuesday, I'd be like, hey, let's go grab drinks or whatever, right? But like, when I'm single, like, you know, some animals don't want to be fed; they want to hunt, right? And it gives me a rush. It's going away slowly. Like now, I'm just like, like I'm not. But as when I'm in a relationship, I'm in a relationship. Like this is it. But it's tough because as a man, when you're used to like chasing, and when I say chasing, again, I don't mean like putting women as your priority. I just mean like when you're going out on dates once in a while, right?
Pursuing.
And running game
Easy
and
way
all
to
that
put it.
stuff. You kind of have to understand that your manhood and who you are as a man is not defined by the amount of women you can get, or if you can sleep with a whole bunch of women. It's outside of that, right? So you have to learn that wherever you're doing, if you're spinning plates, you're spinning plates, right? And if you're in a relationship, you're in a relationship. Don't be in between, because you'll be miserable. And a lot of red pill guys surprisingly talk about this, but it's more of a moral question, where it's like, you meet a girl you like, do you drop every other plate, or do you kind of like, what do you do? And it's just like you just throttle it off. And as she becomes more important in your life and does the right things, and you start rewarding her and you start being good to her, and as long as there's no problems, then you transition to becoming a boyfriend, and hopefully one day a husband. So yeah.
Yeah, no. Whenever it comes to like the spinning plate stuff, I'm just gonna say for like me personally, like whenever I was probably around 28, 29 was whenever I kind of got ruthless, I guess, with dating, and like that was when I was naturally spinning plates without. I never read Rose book or anything. It was just something that I was kind of doing. What I noticed though was that like the good girls don't stay getting spun for long. Like they're not gonna like they don't play games for longer than like a month or two. And like because I could really tell that like I have like a pretty good bias on like the good girls and the bad girls and stuff. And it was just like the ones that kind of let me do that for longer than a month. It was like low self esteem. It was like usually they had low self esteem, or I was being stupid and just letting the girl that honestly I shouldn't have been fucking with because she was damn near my weight. Like I probably should, like she should never have been a plate in the first place type of thing, and like I actually get to confidently say, guys, I haven't slept with more than 2 or 3 like overweight or like girls that weigh more than me. Which, by the way, that's the biggest thing I argue against, guys. Don't you be fucking girls that weigh more than you. If you're one of those guys that's fucking girls that weigh more than you, you're the problem. You're the reason why this world's fucked up. Because if y'all stop fucking those girls, they would go lose that weight. I promise you it.
Yeah.
Here, let's go. What was that next part with AMS? Oh, wait. I had it in our text messages, actually. 1 second, guys. Also, though, like, whenever it comes to, like, AMS and, like, him talking about purple pill and stuff, do you think that a lot of the guys that, like, are in this red pill space, do you see a lot of them trying to transition over the next 5 to 10 years to, like, trying to get more into relationships? Or do you think that we're going to have this gun-ho, like, stay single spirit for, like, a lot longer?
It depends, because most of the guys that are like the spearheading the red pill content right now, they're in relationships, right? But the problem is, there needs to be the gap in between you being a guy who knows nothing about women and a relationship is getting bigger, right? Because women are getting smarter, they get more options, right? So you need experience, and that doesn't mean go out like Myron says, go have sex with 50 women, right? Only if you want to, right? I'm not telling you what to do, but you don't have to do that. It could be 3 women that you know, for 2 years, and you're just like, okay, I'm done. I know what I know. But the problem is that the gap between a single guy with no experience with women, and a happy relationship with a guy who understands women, understands everything from their mood swings to their ovulation cycle. Am I saying that?
Yeah,
Ovulation
yeah,
cycle?
yeah.
You know, because there's certain parts in the ovulation cycle where you have to be nicer and kinder to them.
Yeah.
And
More forgive or understanding.
right, and then when a girl's pregnant, you can't be alpha. Like, you can't be, you have to be super comforting her all the time because her hormones are crazy. And those are things that, if you pay attention, you learn going. Now, obviously, you don't want to get a girl pregnant, right? But like, those are things that if you pay attention to the content, all that stuff, you'll learn. And I don't want guys to get stuck in, dating girls forever and then ending up like kind of empty, right? Unless you're built for that, right? Like Troy Francis is built for that, guys like that. But I don't want guys to meet a girl and then they're not having the experience to make her happy or content, or they get with the wrong girl that destroys them, and then they just get bitter and they say nothing works, red pill doesn't work, nothing. It's just like, at this point, you need to date around a little bit just so you can protect yourself, and then your future wife will be happier because you understand her better. You're
Mhm.
not going to be acting weird during when she's pregnant, or when she has like a day and you just kind of like get mad at her and yell at her. It's for everybody. So yeah.
Oh yeah, dude. One of my biggest points that like, because I have a whole Discord of guys that I talk to all the time, and like the biggest thing I'd always bring up to them, because a lot of them would like talk about like kind of how scared they are to get in a relationship, just like how, like she's gonna cheat because I'm in a good relationship, and they're always like, well, what if she's gonna cheat? Like, aren't you scared she's gonna do this? Aren't you scared? All these different things. And it's just like, y'all are all like living in fear.
Yeah.
And it's like, if you sit there and you live in that fear, then you're never going to be able to like, you're just going to constantly think those things are happening whenever they're not even really happening. I just think that some people might, it gets so embedded in their brain that I guess it's the rage. It's
Trauma.
yeah. And it's also trauma that they've probably gone through. But I used to always tell them, I'd be like, look, you have all the tools. Like, the whole point of red pill is now you have the tools.
Mm-hmm.
So now when you get in the relationship, you won't get finessed.
You won't have to worry.
And you won't get cheated on, because you know how to act like the right guy. You know how to detect it now if she did do it, because you've learned all those things. It's just like, to me, it's really, really weird, because like I already kind of had a lot of the tools on my belt before I read the books, but then it just reinforced my tools and made me even. I was already good in relationships. It just made me even better at them, basically. And it's like, when I see all these single guys who are like, they're even more scared. It's like, bro, you should be even like, now you're going out there in fucking full armor. Yeah. Like, now you're ready to fight. Like, you weren't ready.
You're like a beat dog that hasn't ever been pet or anything like
that.
That's
the best way to put it. Yeah. And it always goes back to trauma. It always goes back to something happening whenever we were young.
And that's not like, that's something that you have to, like, red pill rage phase. Like, it's your unplugging where you're just mad at everyone, but you're more mad and feel powerless because you're just like, any woman can cheat on me. I'm like, yeah, any woman can cheat on you, but at the same time, we teach outcome independence, where if she does, bro, like, you can be sad, you can cry, you can, but you can't do like that. You like take a week and just, but you have to move on with your life and realize that, like, most likely if you do the things you're supposed to do, she will not cheat. You'll be okay. Everything will be okay.
So like, for me personally, I got over my first hard relationship to get over was just the girl that I lost my virginity to. Like, my first relationship, like that was a really, really hard one for me to get over. Like, I remember it took me like a couple of months before like I finally gave up and I found like another girl, and like I was like, I slept with somebody else and I was fully like over them. For you though, like, but I'll say, after every relationship after that, it was like, once the girl said it was over, or once it was over, I was so quick to just like become cold and just like cut them off. Like, usually because they did something that just, they made it easier for me, For you though, like, is it hard for you to deal with breakups, or like, was it just your first one? Are you kind of like me, where it was just the first one hits you really hard, or how's it for you?
All of them have hit me hard, but in different ways. It's just that I didn't, like, my first one, I got cheated on and that sucked, but I got over it not over it fast. I just, I joined the military, so I was,
You're
out of
forced
sight,
to.
out of mind. I just, life change was so big that I didn't even process it and all that stuff. And then my second one was, she left me for another guy, but she told me, she's like, hey, I can't be with you anymore. But we were like kind of LDR, kind of, so it didn't really affect me much is that the type of guy she left me for was like didn't make sense, you know.
Well, no, explain it. Like, what was it?
Well, I tell this story all the time. First off, she's a good person. I have no, no bad feelings towards her. She was very honest. She treated me really well. You know, she sent me boxes overseas when I was deployed, right? And this girl. So what happened was I messaged her on Facebook. She was best friends with my brother, friends with my brother, and a year before that, I looked at a picture of her and I was like, "Who is that?" And he's like, "Oh, that's so and so," and I'm like, "Oh, okay. Well, she's really, she looks good." And then a year later, I was gonna go get deployed, and then her Facebook pops up, unsuggested. I messaged her like, "Hey, my name is Nuke, and this," and she's like, "Well, my name is so and so, and this," and then we hit it off. And then I said, "Hey, I'm leaving. I won't have a chance to meet you because you're in Puerto Rico and I'm in Virginia, but you can send me letters. So here's my ship address, right?" And then she starts sending me boxes full of like chocolate, and she sent me pictures. Nothing lewd. I said, "Hey, don't send me any just send me normal pictures of you so I can put it in my locker." It was cute. It was romantic. And then when I got back from that deployment, I went to Puerto Rico to visit my family, but also to visit her too. And we met up, and it was like we were so kind of shy because we've been exchanging letters and emails for like months. But we ended up hitting it off, and it was awesome. And then we started dating, and then she moved to Ohio. She went to school. She started getting her master's degree, and then I would fly her out to go to the Navy balls and just hang out. I thought maybe this is the one. I'm done. But she told me, "Hey, I don't like this right now because it's too long distance, and I don't think this is gonna work." And then 2 months later, she ended up with a guy that was like 6 inches shorter than me. Nothing like me. He was a virgin. She took his virginity. Um, and I didn't make sense. And then she kept messaging me, right? So it's just like women have this conundrum where they want the guy, the exciting Navy guy traveling around the world, taking pictures, sending her stuff from other countries,
Mm-hmm.
and writing letters. That's like romantic and exciting for a girl, but they also need a safe, stable guy. She didn't see me as a safe, stable guy.
Yeah.
But at the same time, she still had that excitement that she needed. So it's like you can't fault women for not being able to make that choice sometimes because it's really hard to find that both of those things in one man. So that's why I don't fault her at all. Like she ended up blocking me and everyone in our friend group. She doesn't talk to any one of us anymore. But if she ever showed up on my doorstep, I'd be like, "Hey, come in. Like, what's up? How are you feeling? What's going on?" Like, I still have plenty of respect for that woman.
Yeah.
And I hope she's happy. So
Yeah, no, it is really, really crazy how people. So it's like for my first one, like she went to like a guy after that was like way older than me and like just a dorky dude, like super tall, skinny dude, but he was just way older. He was probably a way bigger provider than me,
probably.
and but because like that time like I was paying our whole rent. But I wasn't able to take her and do like we went to the club all the time. And I got tables, but I would never like take her to fancy restaurants or anything like that. It's like, well, yeah, another guy's gonna replace me if he's able to give her things that I'm not able to give her.
Right. Yeah.
Let's go to this video. I think I saw it at 7:50. Or wait. Sorry guys, I'm so slow with this mouse. 7:50. Oh, it's already almost.
A woman is naturally submissive and she lets you lead. A man has to not take it too far. All right. If the woman has trust you enough to let you lead and be submissive to you and to respect you, most people can't do that because they're fucking tyrants. A woman is naturally submissive and we usually talk about respect. We usually think of the woman respecting the man, but the man has to respect the woman. Now, how does the man respect the woman? Well, it goes like this, guys. If a woman is naturally submissive and she lets you lead, a man has to not take it too far. All right. If the woman has trust you enough to let you lead and be submissive to you and to respect you, most people can't do that because they're fucking tyrants. If you give most people an inch, they'll take a fucking mile. And if a woman usually give a man some submission, usually the dude goes too fucking far with the shit. So if the woman lets you lead and she's submissive to you, don't fucking overdo it, jackass. Just because she's being submissive, don't take her kindness for weakness. You have to respect 4 months down the road when you.
What do you think about this, man? Like, what's your opinion? Because, like, so on my show, you've probably heard me. I really like talk about like the cycle between love and respect, and like how she has to respect me, but I'm only gonna love her. Like, sometimes I'm really like ruthless and savage about it when I say it. But like, he definitely made me kind of like take a step back and be like, you know what? But like, to me, it's like a respect that I automatically have. Like, it's like what he was talking about there, where like, don't act like a tyrant just because like she's doing so much for you. Like for me. So like I kind of see the cycle of that, like the child to the parents, like the respect and love thing with the parents, and then the same with like the wife. And like in the Bible they also talk about like between the slave and like the slave owner, but I don't like bringing that up on my show anymore because it sounds so fucking bad. So I thought of a new thing though. It's like the employer to the employee.
Right.
And it's because like the employer has a responsibility. He has to send you a check every Friday. If you want a drink if you need water at work, you better have waters at you better have a bathroom at your work, right? And it needs to be working. If anything goes wrong in the bathroom, the employer has a responsibility to take care of it. It's his responsibility because he's the employer. So like basically like the employer can sit around all day, he can sit on his ass and sit in the chair, but as soon as something it needs to be done, a responsibility, they have to step up and do it right then. If one of the employees comes to us and says, "Hey, Bob, my boss, I can't do this right now because the computer systems are down," he has to figure it out, and he has to it's his responsibility to figure it out. But in return, does he ever have to tell the employees what to do? They already know their jobs. Like,
contract.
Yes, yeah. So like with me and my girl, I don't ever tell her what to do ever because it's already in the it's already in the contract. Like, she knows exactly what her job is at all times. Like, and I'm never like, "Hey, did you do the laundry today? Hey, did you do this?" Like, it's never like that. And but in return, I'm always ready for her since she's my responsibility. I'm always ready for her to ask for me to do something. I'm never gonna ask her to do anything, but I'm always like, "Oh, we need milk. All right, I'm gonna go to the store and pick it up really quick. Oh, like, you need something? All right, I'll go get it for you real quick." Like, I'm always ready to immediately stand up and do whatever's needed, And I think that that's like a little dynamic, But right there, he kind of proves that respect goes both ways.
Right.
What do you think, like when it comes to the cycle of love and respect?
Well, in terms of like what you were saying, the employer, the one we use in the red pill is she's the most responsible teenager in the house. Meaning she's not an idiot, she's not dumb. She is emotional though. She has emotions, right? If you had a teenage daughter like 16, are you gonna hold her the same standard as a 34-year-old, like 34, like you?
Yeah.
You're gonna understand there's got to be a little bit of space for her to get emotional, to filter things through her emotional filter, because she is a woman, and you wouldn't want it any other way, because you don't want to date a man, you want to date a woman, right? So that's what we say. So that means like you don't have to reward her like a puppy, like, pat her on the head like, "Good, you did the dishes." No, you give her appreciation the right way, and then she'll give you appreciation. And honestly, relationships are not that hard. They're not hard. If it's hard, then you shouldn't be in a relationship, right? Like when
That's not the right person if it's hard.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
When my last relationship, it was really easy. I was surprised how easy it was, right? It was very like, I just kept doing the things I was doing, but then I realized like, hey, I just can't see other women. And I still went to the gym, I still worked, I still cooked and all that stuff, except now my Friday nights were spent with her or at the movies or having dinner, and I had actually a lot more fun, but yeah, the way the tyrant thing is that a lot of guys, it's just a fear. It's just fear, right? Because they think that they take this red pill stuff sometimes without nuance, right? So they hear somebody say, she needs to respect me, right? And by that they mean like a ruler, like a dictator, right? It's
like a
no,
boss.
yeah, but like think about it. Do you respect your friend? Yeah. Do you respect your employer? Yeah. Do you respect your brother? Yeah. Those are all different types of respect, but those are respect that's like different, right? And your girl isn't your like slave. She isn't like, she isn't a puppy, a dog that you need to train with treats and stuff like that. She's a human being. And I know it's still belittling a little bit to say, "Oh, she's the most responsible teenager in the house," right? But that allows space for when she is emotional. She doesn't make sense sometimes, because women sometimes they say or do things that it just doesn't make sense to us as men, right? It's the analogy with the nail in the head, right? Have you heard that analogy? Where a girl goes up to her husband, sits down on the couch. I think it's her husband, and she says, "My head hurts." And the dude sees a nail in her head, and he's just like, "Well, there's a nail in your head." He's like, "Yeah, but my head hurts." And the dude's like, "Well, get the how about we take that nail out?" And she's like, "No, wait, but why is my head hurt?" And it's just like so instead of that, you have to like tell her, "Hey, your head hurts because the nail, and tell me how your head feels. How about and then after that she gets it out, then you can both work together to get the nail out, right?"
Yeah.
But that's just how relationships go. That's why we say oldest teenager in the house. We get a little bit of space for like, teenagers being emotional and not making sense sometimes,
Yeah.
and acting up. But most of the time, they're going to be good.
Yeah, I'm so much meaner than you on my show because I always straight like the last like month or two on the show, I've just straight up I've been telling women, y'all are children. And we have to treat y'all like fucking children.
Yeah.
But it's just because in the relationship, man, like it's really all guys need to see it like that because whenever your girl is being moody, emotional, her period, whatever the hell it is, you have to do what Jay Waller talks about where like her emotional waves crash over you, where like you're just the rock and she just her emotionalness just goes right over you. And like the only way to do that is to treat her like a child. Like I know now because I have a 3-year-old and it's like I completely see it. Like it's as accurate as can be because my daughter can be going crazy sometimes or like annoying, like just asking the same thing over and over and over again or something. And you just have to be like,
yeah,
just calm down. Like you always have to like take a breath and just like you smile and you're just like, you're just like, oh, it's just a child. And like, but you have to have the same reaction to your woman sometimes. Like,
And the thing is too, it's just like you're also all the little beta boyfriends she had and her dad that didn't do the things he was supposed to teach her the right way. It's up to you now. Like a lot of times women don't know. Like they don't know that when you come home from work or you had a stressful day, not to like bombard you with stuff. Like that should have been something she learned from her father. Because especially in the Latino community, like when my dad would come home, my mom wouldn't. She would leave him alone.
That's how it was at mine too.
Yeah, stressful career, and daughters sometimes don't see that if they don't have a father or they just don't have that masculine presence in their life. They don't understand how to be in a relationship. So a lot of the beginning of a relationship now, you have to well teach her like, hey, baby, when I walk through the door and I've had a stressful day, I'll hug you, I'll kiss you, but like give me time. Like all men across all generations say this. It's like when will you learn that when a man walks through the door, you don't tell him problems. You don't nag him. You just give him a hug,
give him more problems.
Yeah, or maybe a glass of water or something. And then let him like decompress. And then in 15, 20 minutes, he'll like pop back. We just need time to process.
We really do, man.
Yeah, it's simple.
It's crazy how like it's natural, but there's so much that just messes with what's natural to us. And I think it's just like the women are so stressed out today. Like if they could all be perfect stay-at-home wives and they didn't really work all day, like they would be happy to like want to greet their husband with great things. But if they're like sitting there on Instagram seeing all these other girls having fun all day and she has to stay home and clean, and then on top of that she also was like working, also maybe like a part-time job, so she's pissed off because she thinks that she has to help him with the bills because he's a bum or something. Like all those things just add to the factor of that woman not wanting to be a womanly like awesome thing when you come home. It sucks. I wish we could go back to the times whenever it was better. Everybody please like the video on y'all's way in, please. Next part was 1850. Let me go to this next part. 1850.
I like the video myself.
Yeah, like the video.
Motherfucker, too damn stupid. He didn't figure that out. But anyway, acceptance of false. I'm over 40, guys, and I'm yet to meet a woman that I saw was perfect. I'm yet to meet it. So if you're gonna be in a relationship, y'all want to know why relationships are shit these days, and nobody has long-term relationship, monogamous or non-monogamous. Everybody looking for some perfect motherfucker. I'm yet to find them. For a man, this is what I would tell you. For your point of a girl, she's really attractive to you, and she's submissive to you. If you find a girl that's really attractive, you attracted to her, and she's very attracted to you, and she's submissive to you, like feminine energy, we can work around everything else. So what? She loves to wear wigs. If she's very attracted to you, you're not gonna like 100% of the girl. The worst thing you can do is find a girl and start trying to find faults and trying to make her into the perfect mate. And the fact,
what do you think about that, bro? Like,
oh man, this is a big issue with like the traditional conservative Republican types where they think that
the low body count stuff.
Well, they think that if they don't find a girl that's like their politics, their exact, obviously you want a girl to have some values,
their
right?
Culture,
right? Culture, everything. That she's not the right girl, and I'm gonna say, dude, you're gonna be looking forever. There's no perfect women out there. You're gonna be looking forever, and you're gonna be frustrated because you have this standard for women that's so high. Like for example, you don't need a swimsuit model, dude. Like there's a lot of good women that aren't like if a girl's 15 pounds overweight, she can lose that weight in a month, dude. All you gotta, and you know how fast it is to lose 10 pounds, 15 pounds. You just gotta walk 10,000 steps. 5 days a week. That's nothing, that's a 20-minute walk every day. And you're like going to dump this girl that loves you because she's not a swimsuit model. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's a really common sense. No, I was actually just talking to a friend last night about this because, like, back in the day, say it was like 30, 40 years ago, okay, there was like two genres kind of. It was like rock music and then like funk. Like, especially like if I look back to like my dad's time, like the 70s and 80s, it was just like you were either into rock or you were like into like disco and like funk and stuff like that. Like it was like minorities over here and like white people over here, and like it was just like those type of cultures. So like you go to high school, it's not like there was people into anime, people into this type of gaming, this people into this type of thing, or into this band. Like there's all these different genres. Well, there was still band back then, but like I feel like it was so much easier to put like a Metallica shirt on at one point, and you weren't pigeonholing. You were basically pigeonholing yourself to like half the population.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas now, if you put a Metallica shirt on, I think you pigeonhole yourself to like 5 to 10% of the population. And which, when dating is already hard as it can be, why pigeonhole yourself even more and only like be like one type of thing,
Yeah.
So like my type of thing is like I'm very good at like making myself look super broad. Well, my dad was a DJ for years, so like I already loved all types of music. Like I love screamo. I went through a screamo phase when I was like in my teens, and like early 20s. I went through like the like rave phase and like electronic music stuff. Like I like rap, so like I like know all music, so I'm kind of open to all women. I can even two-step, and I love country music too. I love George Strait, so it's like I'm kind of able to connect with all these different genres of women too. And it's like, I really think, I feel bad for guys when they pigeonhole themselves. And it's just like, and I understand what it would feel like, because it is great when you find somebody that's also into anime or also into like football or something. But it's just like, I don't know. It comes down to like compatible, when you're looking for a spouse, like you can look at compatibility, you can look at, connection, and you can look at chemistry. And like compatibility is like, what are you compatible with? Like, do you watch the same TV shows? Do you both like watching sports? Do you both like anime or whatever? And I feel like compatibility, I can really interchange with people hardcore on. Like I can be compatible with just one or two things with a girl sometimes, but it's all about like the chemistry and the connection for me. Like it's just because like I'm not going to spend a bunch of time. Like I don't need to be compatible with you on all my hobbies and everything. I don't do my hobbies with you. Like that's like something I do with guys or something. You know what I'm saying? So like to me, like you're a woman, I'm not supposed to be compatible with you on all this shit.
We're not supposed to go play ball.
And like I just don't watch TV, so I'm not the type of guy where I can be compatible with like TV shows or something,
Yeah,
like most people
not.
are. But like whenever it comes to like what was he saying right there though? He was also saying fuck, there was another part that I couldn't remember.
I'm talking to you guys. Women do this shit too. Y'all guys get my point. The worst thing you can do is find a girl and start trying to find fault and trying to make her.
Oh yeah. So no, I was gonna say, he says there's just two things, like just her, how well is she submissive, and then also like I think he said like, is she pretty enough? Like when it comes to like the prettiness for a girl, like I always say like an adjustable 7. What do you think like is your limit on looks? Like because you're an attractive dude though, so like you could easily get like a girl that's an 8 or a 9. So like, are you the type whenever it comes to relationships, are you willing to take 1 or 2 down and get like a 6 or a 7? Because
yeah, I mean usually what happens, at least in the United States now, is that the guys kind of dates down a little bit. I see this a lot. But for me, it's like she needs to provide something besides looks for me to be interested, right? Because dating women only based on looks, it's just gonna fizz out. You're just.
But if she's submissive, like he says, is that perfect too? If she's a 6 or 7, but she's super submissive.
Oh, of course, yeah. Like
that makes up all of it. Kind of like what he's saying.
There's beautiful women that, beautiful, gorgeous women that, are great women too. Like it's not inversely correlated. That's one of the things that I think the movies from the '90s taught us, that if the girl was like the Stacy. Like if a girl was super hot and popular, she was a bitch, Like in the movies from the 2000s, like, the high school movies.
Yeah.
And then if the girl was nerdy, she was actually super sweet.
Isn't that crazy how it's actually the opposite?
Yeah. And
nerdy bitches are so fucking, they're so bitter about fucking how horrible their high school is that when they become pretty afterwards, they fucking treat everybody like shit. Yeah. And then the prettiest girls I know, guys, my number one thing I teach in my shit is to be friends with the most attractive girl you can find. Like the most pretty girl I can find, I friend zone her like the fastest, and they're always the nicest, bro. I'm best, like guys, I've been best friends with multiple girls that I would consider 9s and 10s. They're fucking amazing friends and the nicest people ever. It makes no fucking sense compared to like what like what you're saying, like what the TV shows or movies used to always say.
Yeah. So it's just like guys when they go into this dating scene, especially guys with no experience, right? They have all these preconceived notions about women. So they see a woman that's very attractive and it's intimidating, and your heart's racing, and she has all this power, right? And then you see the girls that are like, man, they're cute, but there's just 8 right here in front of you. The last time I went on a date with an 8, she was. It's been a while since I'm not dating as much anymore, but she was in finance. She was from Miami, but she was in Dallas, and she was trying to see if she wanted to move here. And we went on a date, and I thought, man, she's like an 8 out of 10. She had like the body of a black woman, but she was Asian. She was gorgeous, Thai, I think Thai Vietnamese or something. Gorgeous girl. She looked like Lucy Liu, right? If you're watching, please call me. But I was like, okay, well, she's gonna be like, vapid, and but I knew from this point, I'm like, no, she texted me like she was like a normal person, and it was one of the most respectful dates I've ever. Like, she was so sweet and respectful, and afterwards we went to the park, and she's like, can you take a romantic picture of us, like like of our shadows, like it was very like, I'm like, wow, and it opens your eyes, like that's why every guy should at least interact with very pretty women, so you can get that notion out of your head that a pretty woman is like evil, because that's what the 90s and the 2000s movies taught you. Like, no, any woman can be a bitch and any woman can be a sweetheart. You have to go out there and touch grass and experience women yourself.
Yeah, no, it's actually really crazy because you're not even going to experience those things about them unless like it's right before, like you go on a date with them, which or before you ever ask them out, which it doesn't matter then, because obviously that's the type of girl that you're not going to go out with. Or you find out, months later, or a month or two later, and it's because something's going on. Like, for the most part, I don't know how y'all be dealing with all these fucked up women unless you're acting kind of weird yourself. Like, sometimes y'all need to check yourselves and make sure you're not texting something weird. Like, I actually, like,
you guys do not want to know what girls' DMs are like. You do not want to know some of the grossest thing. When girls like, look what so, I'm like, I don't want to see it.
Dude, it's sad.
I don't want to see it.
It's actually the number one thing I think I laugh at the most whenever I'm like helping guys right now is seeing the goofy shit they be sending.
It's so cringe.
Or helping the girls out too.
Yeah.
Here's this last one that's really good from AMS.
Some priority. Next, guys, this is important for a relationship. You must meet the other's minimal requirement. For men, that's usually going to be looks, and for women, that's usually going to be finances. If what ends up happening, guys, is we sometimes, when we meet somebody that's got good energy or makes us laugh, or we just have a good time, we kind of put our requirements on the back burner, right? So let's hypothetically say I got on Tinder, I met this girl on Tinder, she looked like a 9 on Tinder, but in real life she's a 7.5, right? She looked like a 9 on Tinder, but I meet her in real life she's a 7.5. But I had a great time. She got a great bubbly personality, and I started saying to myself, you know what, man? Them look things, that's overrated.
Exactly. That's overrated. What I was the other day.
Here he is.
It's so accurate though. Yeah. But and he's right. But for like women, I really don't think like they're not going to settle for the provisioning all the time. Like, I think because hypergamy always kicks in. So like, say like she makes 50 or 100K a year and she's talking to a guy that makes the same, like even the same. I think she's going to skip on him because she's going to go to the guy that just makes 10K more or 20K more, or the guy who bought his time back. Like, I always think that guys have a really hard time competing with guys like drug dealers or like guys who own their own business, because when they buy their time back, it's like all those girls know one guy who has his time back, and she can always hit him up and go fuck him whenever she wants. And like, that's like a big thing that makes it to where like the hard working dudes have to compete with that shit all the time. Even if you make 100K a year, it's like there's another guy over here who makes 100K a year and he has all of his time bought back. Can you compete with that? It's just like, it's not even fucking fair. But what do you think? Like, whenever, like, how he's saying, do you think that we're both like shooting for those certain things like really high, but we're always going to pull back and take something lower?
So in the book Dataclysm, I don't know if you read it.
I haven't. I need to check it out.
It's a great book. Everyone is suggesting. I just finished it recently. There's this thing called superficial preselection, and basically it's they took all these dating profiles, and they took all their, like, what they did is they took all their suggestions, their their standards, like, oh, I need a guy that makes good money, or I need a guy that's a lawyer, or I need a guy, or I need a girl that's or I need a guy that's at least 5 or 6 foot or whatever. And then there's two things that happens. Like, number one, women aren't spatially aware as much as we think. Since men were out hunting, we needed to learn how you needed to know how far the spear was going to go based on how much force we throw it, and how high the lion was going to jump so we can duck. So we had to be very spatial aware. That's why we're naturally good at sports and all that stuff. Um, and then women aren't never had to evolve that ability. So a girl really can't tell the difference between like 5'10" and 6'1". Like, it's really hard for her unless she's 6 feet herself, which most women are not 6 feet, right? She's not gonna be able to tell. So that's superficial pre-selection. So when you see a street interview, when a girl says, "I need a guy who makes 6 feet," or sorry, who is 6 feet, a lot of guys are like, "Oh, I'm out the game," and I'm like, "No, dude, she doesn't know what 6 feet like." If you've ever had a girl come over and she's parallel parking in front of your apartment, she's always gonna say this: "Am I good? Is this too far?" You know why? Because she cannot tell the distance between the tire and the curb. She can't, like, she doesn't know what is good or what is bad. It's like, you guys pay attention. And then for the money stuff, I'm gonna say this. Usually, I've never been asked how much I make. It's always been like in my behaviors, right? For example, if I take a girl out and I don't look at the check like this, after dinner, that and I just sign it and tip and sign, don't even look at it. I'm signaling to her like money isn't an issue.
Mhm.
So it's like, oh, money isn't an issue for him, so it's not going to be an issue for me, right? It's in your behaviors. If you once in a while take her out to a nice place, obviously if she's acting right, she's gonna be like, oh, money's not an issue. If you don't complain about money, you know, she's not gonna ask about it. Maybe one day she'll bring it up, and you don't even have to tell her. You could be like, oh yeah, I make $1 million, and then she'll laugh, and then you'll move on. Because as long as you're taking care of business, like you said before, women do not care, right? If like, for example, other guys, they're like so worried about the dick size, right? And it's just like, dude, if you're taking care of business in the bedroom, she won't care either. It's just like, women throw out these standards. They're just trying to signal to other women that they are high value women, but deep down, this is like what Dataclysm calls superficial pre-selection, right? That's not to say that a girl is going to be with any bum. Most girls don't like bums, right? And they
Mhm.
won't even sleep with the bum. But at the same time, you can't just put the pressure of you can't um, count yourself out the game because some girl in a street interview who can't even tell the difference how far she's supposed to be from a parking curb um, is saying, I want a man that's 6 feet, right? She doesn't know what 6 feet is. I promise you, she doesn't. Only unless she's 6 feet. And if she's 6 feet tall, my friends, she's very lonely because guys don't approach her. And she'll be more than happy to talk to you if you're like less than 6 feet. So that's why I say that.
Do you think it's better to start a relationship where, uh, like, these girls like to say, like, some of them like to say, I'll do build a man, I'll do build a man. Like, they'll be with a guy who makes the same as them or less or whatever. Do you think it's better to be a guy in that situation and you come up? Like,
Mhm.
like she plays, like, she bets on you and y'all win. Like, she bets on you, like, she holds it down for a year while she makes more or whatever it is, or she helps out more, and she bets on you and the guy comes up. Do you think that's better, or a guy who has money with the girl, like, he gets the girl initially and she likes him for his
Mhm.
money and stuff like that, he loses it and then he's gonna make it again? Which relationship do you think is better?
All
The
right.
one where the guy has the money, he loses it and then gains it again, or the guy who has nothing and she builds him from nothing up to it?
Um, I'm gonna say this, right? Because it's a very nuanced question,
Yeah.
and I don't like to give general answers for nuanced questions. But I'm gonna say this: the relationship is her problem, right? Regardless of what's happening, I'm always gonna grind. Whether I'm single, whether I have kids, whether I have a wife. Maybe if I have kids, I'll grind a little harder because just biologically speaking, you
Mhm.
grind harder when you have kids. It's just,
Responsibilities. Yeah.
yeah, it's just you work, you take up more hours. It's statistically proven. But regardless of what happens in my life, I'm going to be grinding. Some girls probably left me because they saw, oh, he's still like the girl I told you about. I didn't know what my next step was in life, so I couldn't provide her security, and she
Mhm.
wanted to settle down.
Yeah.
Right. Turns out now I make decent money. I have this YouTube stuff, and she's like, oh well, I made the wrong choice, but that's okay. People make wrong choices all the time.
Mhm.
But at the end of the day, we can lose it all. Like a man, like you can get zeroed out. You can lose everything. God forbid, you may get into an accident, you can't make money anymore for at least a year. You could go, you can go get some head trauma and lose your mind. You could, so many things can happen to you. And the true test of a woman's loyalty is if she sticks through those times where you're just not the man. And
That's why I think that one where the guy comes from nothing is the better
that's
relationship.
the Latino model. That's
I-
the Latino model that I wish I had, but it's just so
I,
hard.
I think that's the one where like because what it is, because the women, like I've had the women on the panels and I brought this up with them, like the type of women that do the build a man, it's because they're doing it for a guy that is perceived higher than them. Like they're like a 5 or 6
Potential.
girl.
They invest in his potential.
Yeah, and he's probably like a 7, 8 dude, and she's like, oh, he's so sexy. He has good drive. He might be able to make it, And like I just she's already perceiving him as an alpha, even though they're splitting bills 50-50. That says something to me.
It's an investment.
Like,
yeah.
Yeah, it just makes me feel like she cares about him more. But the thing is like, is that guy more likely to leave her because he ends up having everything, or is he gonna be like, you know what, she held me down when I had nothing.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stick with her through those. Whereas like look at the opposite way that I was talking about. Up here he goes down, and then he goes back up. See, I think in this situation is way worse because when the guy goes down, she's expecting to be up here. So that's why hypergamy kicks in, and sometimes the longer he's down here, the more she's going to kick him away because her hypergamy kicks in, and she's expecting something up here. That's what she had. But then that guy, if he's going to have resentment over her treating him a certain way because he doesn't have the money anymore. So the best relationships, in my opinion, are the build-a-man ones, but they're the most dangerous for the woman.
Yeah.
They're the biggest risk.
Because she doesn't know the potential. Yeah.
Yeah, she's gambling. It's the worst long-term strategy a woman can do, but it's the best for her to end up really in love and having good orgasms 10 years into the relationship.
Yeah, she will have been, like, that's what our parents, like Latinos that immigrate here, and that's the model, because my parents married when they were 18, and she said, you're the guy, like, this is it. Like, I made a decision. I'm marrying you. I said yes. But now, like, women make their own money, and their biggest fear isn't really getting cheated on. It's investing in a guy that doesn't pan out. And that's why they're dating older guys now, because they're at least a guy my age. Maybe I'm not to the top yet, but at least, I'm showing indicators, I'm, again, when I get the bill for dinner, I'm not like going through to make sure it's right. I'm just like, whatever, here. And
Yeah.
and then she sees me tip really well, and she's like, oh, this guy's okay. Like, he's not,
bad off.
Yeah. Like, I'm not rich, right? But I'm not, I'm comfortable. So, and then there's different ways, like some guys of my age have a house already and they're living comfortable. Like, okay, well, he has this really nice place where I feel safe. But like 22-year-old guys can't provide that anymore. And let's face it, a lot of 22, 23-year-old guys are like, they're like losers, and I don't like saying that, but it's just like, it's the gap between a 22-year-old woman and 22-year-old man is widening, because 22-year-old women are graduating from college and are getting better jobs, and they always have safety nets, like selling their body online or getting with
even their family can be more of a safety net than for the guy.
And a lot of Latino women here in Dallas, their family is their safety net because they live, so if like they need a couple months, where they can't pay rent, they just move in back with their family, or they get broken up with and the guy dumps them, they move in back with your family, which is good. I think that's good.
Yeah. But I never had that privilege my whole life, though.
Yeah, no.
I've never in my whole life.
I wouldn't move out back with my parents.
But at the same time, I've always had like my spots. They were always my spots. My girls always moved into my spot. I've had to kick a couple girls out, bro. Like one of my girlfriends years ago went to a daytime club, like the one where like it's like the pool party stuff. And I told her if she went out, it was over. Yeah, when she came back home, all her shit was outside. And it's just like, I've definitely kicked like girls out, but that's the reason why you have to have everything in your name, like the apartment, everything. But that motherfucker though, she broke my fucking window and came inside the apartment and screamed and everything. And the cops came and they were like, "Well, she has a pillow here, so she gets to come in still." And I was like, "This is fucking stupid, bro."
Damn.
Yeah, dude. No. So like,
I gotta learn these laws.
Yeah, no. She was able to come in and grab her pillow, and then they made her go to her mom's house, and I was like, "Thank you." Yeah. And my dumb ass got back with her 2 months later because she came back crying.
You hate to see it.
I hate to see it, dude.
Yeah.
No, it's really messed up though. Whenever I just can't help but like lately I've been, after our Saturday panel and stuff, I just been having this loop in my brain that guys in relationships, and I'm talking shit to myself here, are betas, and guys that aren't are alphas, and the reason why is because it's just two completely different vibes. And this is gonna sound fucked up because there's a lot of people in the manosphere that are betas, but I'm just saying you got to have some beta traits to get into the relationship. Like there's certain things that you have to cross. Like some of the things that AMS would say, some guys would consider kind of beta in the red pill space.
Yeah.
Like respecting your woman and just like certain things that I don't know. Like, I just don't think you can be an alpha. Like, I always like to say that being alpha is contextual for one. Like you go to like a concert, like the DJ is contextual alpha in that moment. But I also like to give examples to the girls that like the way a girl is next to her guy, like that's how much you can tell he's an alpha is like the women around him. Like if she's super respectful, the way she talks, she has to go get waters for the guests when they come in the house, something like that all shows. But it's just like. But at the same time, if that guy's not exercising options and fucking multiple girls, I just don't see how a guy in a relationship can be an alpha. Like because she's gonna have leverage. Like don't get me wrong, the relationship can be in his frame. Like I think that a guy can like
Well, have you heard of passive dread? You know what passive dread is?
which is just like going and hanging around women and stuff.
No,
just being friends with women.
No. Passive dread. I wrote it here. Okay, so passive dread basically, like you said, what women want is not only the alpha. Like every woman wants both in one. Like they want the bad boy, like Justin Waller said, the guy that can kill a man with his hands, but also change a diaper.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's like I as a father, I'm like, yeah, I'm going to change a diaper, but also I have to be, you want to be the dangerous man that she can tame, right? And that's what women want. So what do women do? So what they do is they take an alpha and try to like cut him down, and they test them and they cut him down a little bit.
Shit test over and over and over again to get in their frame.
Yeah, just to kind of like cut him down a little bit, and then like when he's out, maybe out in the clubs and she's at home, part of her likes it because she's like, oh, he's exercising his thing. But the other side, that need for security is also she gets anxiety, right? So she may be very turned on. That's why women stay with abusive guys or shitty guys for so long, because they get their emotions spiked constantly, because at the end of anxiety for a woman is attraction, and that's just how women work. Like if you just one day leave, that's why that girl probably came back to you crying, because there was a lot of anxiety because she left you and you threw her stuff out. And she was like, no, I need him back because, I'm still attracted.
She went to another dude and tried to like make him wait for sex. And he was like, went super crazy over it. And like, he went super crazy. And then because he went crazy, she came back to me.
And that's, and that's one of the that's the hardest thing. That's like the theme of today's show. The hardest thing for a guy to do is like, let's say, someone's calling me. Let's say that at the end of, like, let's say you're an alpha, right? Let's say you're a nuke, right? And you're just out dating, and you're a nice guy, but you're out dating. And she knows that you have multiple, because women aren't dumb. Yeah. Women are not stupid.
Never.
And then I get in a relationship with you. She's gonna be like, I wanna be with him, but he's, I might get replaced any day now. The problem is that turns women on to an extent, right? It's not like it's gonna like always work, right? So what she does, she has to like kind of accept it, but kind of start pushing other girls out. And the fact that she has to do that also turns her on. But it's up to you as a guy to make that decision. Like, hey, I found a good girl. I can't be doing this stuff. So instead of like me going out and actively doing active dread, what I can do is passive dread. Passive dread is basically having a good physique. Because if you have a good physique and you look good and you're groomed, you're walking on the street with your girl and you're hugging her, you're kissing her on the cheek, other girls are going to be like looking at you. She's like, ooh, I got a winner. And that's passive dread. And that's your pathway to be both alpha and beta, because you're not gonna like in front of your girl flirt with another girl. That's disrespectful. That's the stupidest thing you can do, right? Yep. You probably fly out. AMS will fly out and slap you himself, right? But at the same time, you still have to be attractive. You still can't let yourself go in a relationship. You still got to be him, but now you're gonna be him for her.
Yeah.
So what we have is passive dread, and passive dread is basically, let's say you're going to the gym with her and you're checking in, and the girl at the gym counter is like, oh, you're looking nice today. You don't say, hey, no, I have a wife. You say, well, thank you. You look good too.
Yeah.
But it's like you're saying it because you're a nice guy. Mm-hmm. But at the same time, she's saying that you're attractive. Mm-hmm. And your girl's seeing this, and she may not be jealous, but now she knows, oh, he's still attractive.
Yeah, I just other people see it.
Because the familiarity of being with someone, sometimes you forget. Mm-hmm. Sometimes when you're with your girl for so long, you're like, yeah, you forget she's attractive, but one day you're out at the club and there's gonna be some guys in the corner just staring at her. You're like, oh yeah, I forgot my girl's bad, like she's super hot. So sometimes it works both ways, but that's how you become toning the alpha down. Don't over alpha in a relationship, but let her know, give her that, and that's not every day. It could be once in a while.
Mhm.
You know, you let her know, hey, I'm still the man. Like, I'm not gonna leave you. I love you, but just know that you got a winner, and you made the right choice.
See, now I see like why like I'm so different than a lot of red pill though, is because like so passive dread to me is just pre-select. Like I've always had exactly everything you said,
That's a form of
but just from
passive
pre-select.
dread,
Yeah,
yeah.
I have so many women that are my friends, and I always have so much opportunity outside of
Right.
my own girl
But you wouldn't
that it causes that.
you wouldn't make your girl believe that you were with or doing anything crazy with
Yeah,
this
see,
woman.
like I never text them. Like the only time I talk to them is like, hey, like we're going to where they work at or something. It's like,
Mhm.
hey, I'm about to pull up here. Like, are you working today?
Yeah.
Or like, you
yeah,
know, it's
like
like
business, like,
it's
you know,
always like,
logistics, yeah.
yeah. But I would say like like basically, you know, like the way that works, or the way that like, you know, passive dread works in the physical way. That's the best way to do it for like guys that are already married, or guys that, because for you to have the pre-selection that I have, this started over a decade ago of work, you know.
Mhm.
So most guys can't just pull out of their ass pre-selection, but you can pull out of your ass going to the fucking gym and fixing yourself.
Right.
Every guy
And
can
that's
fucking do
already
that.
the best passive dread is a good physique.
Yeah, so that's why that's so much more popular, is because what I did took years of work, but what most anybody can do is immediately go to the fucking gym and start your
Right.
passive dread off. No, that's made me come to a whole different understanding with that, man. But guys, we got the girls show. I just got a message from one of the girls that are showing up for tonight, so we got to get the show ending so we can do that show tonight. We also, other than Nuke, we also got Phil Foster pulling up, so he's going to be on the night show also. But yeah, we'll probably see y'all here in like an hour or so. I need to set the times back on shit. But yeah, we will see y'all here in a little bit. Go ahead and shout yourself out really quick so I can go find you, Nuke.
Hey guys, so like I said before, YouTube / Calillo Nuclear. Same thing with Twitter, and on Twitch I'm Nuclear Calillo. Instagram, follow me on Instagram, guys. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys soon.
Yeah, we'll see you in like an hour, guys. Peace out.
Yeah.